This is K1DBC. All stations, please stand by. The Denver Radio Club Learning Net starts in around 5 minutes.
0TX repeater.
My name's Owen Rosansky, KD3ALD. I am a freshman computer engineering student from the University of Scranton, and this is my project on the development of a contesting and DXing dashboard for the HamSci Personal Space Weather Station. So just a little bit of background is we want to use data from the Personal Space Weather Station to help contesters and DXers to know where bands are going to be open, when they're going to be open, what kind of activity is going to be on the band, and then in the future we want to integrate it with external data and better help with a general understanding of HF propagation and just general HF knowledge for contesting and DXing. Special thanks goes out to the Frankfurt Radio Club for funding this project, as well as Bud Trench and Ray Sokola, AA3B and K9RS for their help.
Hi, I'm Mindy, Kilo Mike 1, November Delta Yankee, and this is my poster at the 2025 HamSci workshop. This is the effect of near total solar eclipse on radio propagation of high frequency, weak signal propagation reporter, known as WHISPER transmissions. Just really briefly, what my data shows is that during the solar eclipse that the 20 meter and 30 meter bands had an elongation in propagation. When you looking at WHISPER transmissions, you can see over here the red pre the maximum of the solar eclipse, and then the blue post the solar eclipse, where we pick up Europe on both of these bands. This was not shown on anything other than 20 and 30 meters when it came to statistical significance. And the best part about this is it's a single ham radio operator who was able to do some science and present it here at HamSci. So thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Hi, I'm Gerard Piccini from the University of Scranton. I'm KD2ZHK. And my project is a low-cost, low-power chirp ionoson for studying eclipsed ionospheric impacts. And so essentially what we're doing is we're making a simple vertical incidence ionoson where we transmit a narrowband chirp vertically and time how long it takes for it to refract in the ionosphere and come back to our receiver. And in doing so, we are able to calculate the virtual layer height of the bottom side of the ionosphere and the F2 region, to be a bit more specific. And we did this during the duration of the 2024 total eclipse and continued to record over the rest of the day. And that's this plot we have here. And in this plot, the blue line is the data we collected, and the orange line is data from Wallops Island on the same frequency. And so what's really nice about this plot is it shows a very strong correlation between our data and Wallops Island data, except for a bit here, but we believe that there might have been some ionospheric activity here either way.
Hi, I'm Steve Stroh, N8GNJ, and I'm here talking about the IP400 networking project, which is, you can think of packet radio in the 21st century. It's a brand new system, brand new protocol, brand new concept. One of the biggest differences is that it's going to be a mesh networking system. It will automatically form meshes, tear them up, or put them up, tear them down, and it will also be a transparent system where...
This is K1DBC. All stations, please stand by. The Denver Radio Club Learning Net starts in around 2 minutes.
Existing protocols like AX25, TCP/IP, even MMDVM will all get just tunneled through. Think of this thing as Ethernet cables and an Ethernet switch for amateur radio use. That is the radio. It is a chipset and module that does all the heavy lifting of the things we used to have big boards for. This is the radio, antenna connector, power, a little bit of signal conditioning, and The brains of the outfit is a Raspberry Pi. That's the I/O connector for a Raspberry Pi. And this one is going to be simple enough, cheap enough, that you can use a Raspberry Pi Zero. More information about this project, I'm covering it very regularly in my newsletter, Zero Retries, which is www.zero retries, retries.org.
Hi, I'm Jack, W9RFT with KDKE8LQR and Taylor, KE8KWZ. And we're here today at HamSci introducing why you should attend Youth on the Air Camp.
So Youth on the Air Camp is a week-long camp for young amateur radio operators, 15 through 25. Throughout the week, we do lots of different things from contesting to CW to POTA and satellites. Yoda Camp is run by youth for youth, so most of the session presenters are going to be in the 15 through 25 age range or slightly older. You'll get to learn about a lot of things that you might not get to learn about at your local club as well. So you'll be able to find lots of young Elmers and mentors, even if you don't have someone for those subjects in your local amateur radio club.
Hello and welcome back to the Denver Radio Club Learning Net for April 2nd, 2025. It's a great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics in general, and thankfully we have plenty of combined experience and expertise. This is Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie. My name is Doron, that's Delta Oscar, Romeo Oscar November. I'm this evening's net control. Tonight, we will be taking your check-ins, comments, questions, updates, and more. We meet every Wednesday except the third Wednesday of the month, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time on 145.490 and 448.625. Both have a negative offset. You can contact us via email, elmer@w0tx.org, net@w0tx.org, and plenty more information on our website. We also do stream and archive our nets on youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. So if you like to see behind the scenes of the net or visual context, that is an additional way to participate in the net. This net can be broken at any time for emergency or priority traffic by using the word break. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? All check-ins to the net will be taken in alphabetical groups based on the first letter of the suffix of the operator's call sign. The suffix is the first letter after the number in the call sign. If you can, please try to use ITU phonetics for the call sign at least, and indicate if you have traffic or questions as you check in. You can follow along with check-ins, w0tx.org/check-in, and you'll see who's checked in their call class and just some information there. Let me drop for a moment. Okay, if your suffix begins with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, please check in now.
WD0 CIV, WD0 CIV, Charles in Denver, no traffic.
This is Kilo Echo Zero Alpha Bravo. Cannon Lakewood, no traffic. Kilo Foxtrot Zero, Foxtrot Papa India, Ron in Lakewood, no traffic.
W0TX, repeater.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. We'll hold up there for just a moment. Net Control would like to welcome and acknowledge the following check-ins: WD0CIV Charles, Kilo Echo 0 Alpha Bravo Ken, and Kilo Foxtrot 0 Foxtrot Papa India. Ron, thank you all so much for checking in. Once more, if your call suffix begins with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, please check in now.
Delta Zero, Charlie Golf Fox, Kenny, and Thornton. No traffic.
All right, and that time we had Kilo Delta Zero, Charlie Golf Fox. Thank you so much for checking in. We'll open it up to the whole alphabet with this. We're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. We're taking, again, A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. Let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions, please call now.
Alpha Bravo 8 Whiskey November, Pete in Arvada, no traffic.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Nevada Papa Sierra, Paul in Littleton, no traffic.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Net Control would like to welcome and acknowledge the following check-ins. AB8, WN, Pete, and KF0, NPS, Paul. Thank you all so much for checking in here. So far we have 7 people checked in, including myself. Again, we're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. I certainly can bring up some things, talking about past meetings, past nets, things like that. There's certainly things we can bring up. With that, though, we'll throw it out once more. We're taking all call signs, A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. Let us know your call sign, your name. And if you have traffic or questions, please call now. Okay, nothing heard just at the moment. I didn't see anybody indicate that they had traffic or questions. If somebody did and I missed that, please don't hesitate to let me know. Appreciate, again, I think it was N0TRP, Jim, who took net control last week, I believe. Or I might be confusing my weeks up here. With that, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else? Certainly can get things rolling here, but anyone else at the moment, please call now. Okay, as mentioned, youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. Just before the net, I played about a 5-minute video from the ARL HQ YouTube web site page from about 2 weeks ago. Ham radio students and scientists at Ham Sci Workshop 2025. So it's only about a 5 or 6 minute video if you want to go ahead and check that out on your own. But I did play that, and it just highlights some projects that people are working on of HF propagation. Research, let me see, drop here for a moment. Weak signal, total propagation studies, things like that. Pretty cool tool towards the middle ending of the video, IP400 networking project, which is a pretty interesting project. Let me see if I can bring up some more on that, because I was pretty interested on that. More information on his page. He noted, I should probably go to that. Let's see here. Pretty cool looking project. zeroretries.org for more information on that. Designed by Martin Alcock, VE6 VH, with support from Alberta Digital Radio Communication Society. The IP400 network project is designed to enhance amateur radio repeaters, aims to bring digital voice modes, data transfers, messaging, and data networking layer that links repeaters together. Latest issue on the Zero Retries org blog, as mentioned. He goes in and says, have a ground floor opportunity to develop our own mesh network in the 420 to 450 megahertz band that can be used for many different applications. The limit of which is imagination alone. First step is simple chat and beaconing from another layer. He kind of was mentioning this is kind of packet in the future. Its goal is to develop a next-gen data communication system by amateur radio for amateur radio. Includes high-speed, minimum 100 kilobits per second, robust modulation, forward error correction. So let me see if I can bring up a little bit more on there, but it was a pretty interesting a watch here. So it kind of just adds a layer of abstraction, essentially, for some of the protocols that we've used in the past. And I'm not explaining it very well, but go ahead and check that video out on the ARL page. I might play that bit at the end of the video here again. But ham radio students and scientists at the HamSci workshop. Anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else for them at the moment? Please call now. All right, we had Pete checking online. KE0TSF, do appreciate that. Unable to make the repeater. Anyone else? We have an hour in total, about another 50 or so minutes. I can certainly bring up some things, but anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins? Please call now. All right, some local news. If you've driven by this facility, the Lumen facility in Littleton, it is being demolished for place of Costco and other planned development in that area. Quite a large parcel of land there. I forget what it said here, but it was quite big, 18 acres, at least for the warehouse. But if you've been around there, you know that they are involved with ham radio. They do have a ham radio club, and they do have a Yagi antenna. Someone was just asking about that. Someone on reddit.com/r/Denver. They were just going in on a little bit. He thinks that it was a giant log periodic antenna. He might have been confusing it with the mixing up used with the one used at the Federal Center. So they just made some confusion on that there. But yeah, Lumen building is being torn down, so anyone else on that or anything else, please call now.
0TX repeater.
Question Alpha Bravo.
Yeah, Alpha Bravo. Ken, go right ahead.
Okay, I think I'm having kind of a brain spasm here or something. I am looking at the Colorado Council of Amateur Radio Club web portal. And what it is it's a web page on frequencies for the band plans. And on the 2 meter, the 145 megahertz, they have types, and they have non-channelized, they have coordinated, they have non-channelized, and they have channelized. And from 146.4400 to 146.595, it says channelized. Now, can someone explain to me that type of being channelized? Is that something that a radio is fixed up to be channelized and doesn't have a VFO? Because like I say, I'm kind of having a brain spasm here, and I can't understand why it would be channelized. Can somebody explain that to me?
Great question there. This is K1 DBC Net Control. I do have it pulled up on my YouTube, but website ccarc.net. And then there's a menu at the top, use plans and hotspots. And then there's frequency use plans. And if you bring up the Colorado 144 megahertz, you can see what he's talking about there. Some of them, the type is listed as coordinated versus, oh, that was weird, channelized. So can anybody tell us the difference between coordinated versus a channelized frequency? Is it a frequency pair, or anybody on that? Please call now.
Alpha Bravo. Yeah, it's really strange. Now, they have coordinated pairs for your repeaters, and then, for non-channelized, they've got satellite and Oscar, and non-channelized for propagation and CW and single sideband and weak. But for some reason, I can't pull up in my noggin what the channelized voice FM simplex would be.
Let's see. The AI response, at least on Google, shows radio communication. Channelized refers to using specific predefined frequencies, in brackets, channels, for communication, while coordinated means ensuring that radio systems operate on frequencies that minimize interference with each other. Doesn't necessarily answer the question of why these types are showing non-channelized, channelized, and coordinated. There should be a fairly simple explanation, but yeah, I am not too sure myself either. Anybody want to take a guess? I can do a little bit more research on that, but anyone else, please call now. Okay, nothing heard at the moment. Let's see what else. Another question on Reddit /amateur radio. Still confused as to what makes certain parts of the spectrum channelized versus unchannelized. What is the difference? Why is one considered a channel and the other a frequency? One response was channels are just predefined frequencies. Channels are usually codified by law, like marine channels, FRS, etc. We amateurs have, as experimenters, the ability to use a VFO to set frequencies. Thus, amateurs don't channelize, but we do have commonly agreed upon frequency uses. 146.52, for example, is a commonly agreed to be a calling frequency, but it's not an enforced thing, and .520 ends up being more of a watering hole, as they say. Amateurs are channelized on the 60-meter band, but the reasons are because it's shared with other services. So there's a few more responses in here, but hopefully that's starting to make a little bit more sense here. Anyone else, though? Great question.
Yeah, this is Alpha Bravo. Okay, that answered my question. Channelized would be like we've had conversations before on like radio-controlled cars and stuff like that. Okay, now it's now the fog is lifted, Jerome. Thank you. This is Kilo Echo Zero Alpha Bravo. Back to net.
Excellent. Sounds good. Yeah, great resource, CCARC, Colorado Council of Amateur Radio Clubs. coordination of frequency uses, umbrella coordination body made up of many clubs across the state to oversee amateur frequency coordination policies for the state of Colorado. So all clubs are welcome. It's great to see this here because otherwise we'd be stepping over each other and left, right, and center, and we wouldn't be able to actually communicate correctly. So yeah, check that out, and you can see and also frequency or for guidelines on hotspots. Some hotspots, DMR things you can set frequencies on. These are their recommendations. 438 megahertz, essentially about 10 channels on there. Anyone else though? Great question. Yeah. So anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins? Please call now. Let's see, we had a question online by Vlad asking what is a good site to buy our DIY hex beam antenna. Anybody? Hex beam antenna, DIY plans. Let's see, just a quick Google. Top result here is by G3TXQ. There's definitely plenty you can purchase, but they are fairly expensive. But hex beam DIY kits or plans, please call now. All right, no takers there. Let's see. I think that that first website I mentioned, it's hex-beam.com. Hex-beam has become a widely popular antenna. It's a directional antenna that provides a great performance and does not require a full-scale expensive tower. It allows the average amateur to compete with big boys for DX and without spending your retirement to do so. It could be stealthy against a background of trees or mounted low behind your roof line. The hex can now be bought from a number of commercial sources, at least from this this page here. So let's see their kit that they're selling here. Let's see, 2,000 watts. Wow. Let me see what the cost of this is. I'm not really seeing it as a store here.
0TX repeater.
Oh, okay. At least on this other site here, it's listed. Base price is $516, and then for an additional $61 per band, 6 meters through 17 meters. It comes with 20 meters alone by default. So that might not be a bad purchase. But anyone else? Has anyone set up a hex beam antenna or experienced building one or anything on that? Please call now.
FPI.
Yeah, FPI, Ron. The net is yours. KF0 FPI. If you have anything further, please go ahead. Not sure if you have radio issues, but go right ahead.
Yeah, Ron, I built a 6-meter hex beam. When I first got my ticket in 21, I love it. It tuned out well, right in the middle of the band. And I'm going to expand it to, I'm going to add a 10-meter ring this summer, so to make it a 2-bander. And I built it all from Home Depot stuff and using all the information on a website. And that website was from G3TXQ, broadband hex beam by K4KIO.
All right, sounds good. Funnily enough, that was the one that I was looking at. Features the G3TXQ broadband hex beam bought from K4KIO. So really cool, yeah. Yeah, looking at a video here from 2021. So looks like that was kind of all the rage back then. So yeah, hex-beam.com. It looks like there's more information on there for that. So really cool stuff. Yeah. Any reviews on performance or things that you've had to do or anything like that, go right ahead.
No, it's a great antenna locally. I love it because it's directional, and it'll take some power if you got it. And haven't really went overseas or caught the bands right to do any DX. So back to you, Daron. This is KFC or FPI.
Excellent. Sounds good. Yeah, appreciate that. Hex-beam.com. Looks like there is a parts list. And as mentioned, you could probably get it at your local hardware store, things like that. Looks like U-bolts, mounting nuts, washers, tubes, clamps. Definitely things that are fairly off the shelf here. And so they have provided a source site and quantity and the exact description and things like that. So looks like a very well thought out plan here and very easy. So yeah, I'm not sure if Vlad's still in the chat or anyone else, but looks like hex-beam.com lays out a pretty good site for how to build it. So really cool stuff. Anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins? Please call in.
N0 TRP, Jim in Lakewood, checking in. No traffic.
All right, N0TRP got you checked in, Jim. Thank you so much for checking in here. And got a comment back from Vlad thanking us. You'll look into that. A good site. Prices look fairly normal. So, yeah, appreciate being able to help out. With that, yeah, we'll take further check-ins. If you're just tuning in, this is the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. Great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics and STEAM. And we have plenty of combined experience and expertise. If you'd like to check in, we're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. Let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions, please call now.
This is WD0CIV, WD0CIV, Charles in Denver. I've already checked in, but I was just going to mention, I'm not sure, you might have mentioned it already, 9595 Nelson Road, the 5th. This is actually Saturday coming up. It's going to be a ham fest up there, and so I thought you might want to give anybody else more detailed information than what I have. This is WD0CIV, going to turn it back to net control.
All right, I think I do know which one that is. Let me bring that up here. But that is the Boulder County Fairgrounds you mentioned there. Let me drop and get that up here. All right, we should probably start doing this. Thankfully, it was on the Boulder County Fairgrounds website, LARCFest 2025. Plenty more information on our Hamfest coming up, but and how much support we need with that. But LARCFest, really awesome to see that. Why didn't that come up here? All right, 2025 Longmont Amateur Radio Hamfest, w0eno.org for more information. Saturday, April the 25th. 5th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., Ham Radio Flea Market. Looks like they're coat check items for donations. $7 admission, ages 16 and under free, one door prize, ticket per person, and then you can purchase additional ones. Let me see. Special form, 10 a.m. To 12 p.m. Ask live YouTube Elmers. Awesome for participating Elmers. Check out w0eno.org/2025 LARCFest for more information. Get on the air station, no license required, special club section, fox hunt available. So looks like it will be pretty cool opportunity there. Let's see, the Elmers are to include at the moment. Awesome list here. We have Carrie Brown, K5KAB, Dave Kassler, big name, K0OG, Tom Appelnick, WA2IVD, Smokin' Ape, KT0ADS, Big Jim, Perry, WT1W, Steve McGrain, KM9G, and Sean Kletchek, W9FFF. So really cool stuff there. Yeah, more information, w0eno.org this Sunday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. I did say Sunday once more. Again, correction, Saturday the 5th. Awesome. Thanks for bringing that up here. Yeah, I think we'll have a table up there, so come and check that out. Say hi, I believe. And feel free to help out if you want. So, yeah, there'll be plenty of vendors, plenty of booths, and plenty of stuff to see. Anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else? Please call now. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Let me see. It should also have been listed, hopefully, on the ARL webpage. If you're also interested, arl.org. There's a Hamfest search tool, and you can just put in your state or zip code or whatever it may be. I may not be on that search. No, I'm on the submission form. Let me see if I can find that Hamfest search form. But anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins? It's 8:02. Anyone else? Please call now. Okay, I don't know the exact link on the ARL page, but if you just Google ARL Hamfest search, you can just put in your state. Let's see, and we'll see upcoming Hamfests here. Yep, LARCFest as mentioned, this 5th. And then the next one will be July 26th, MegaFest, BarkFest coming up October 5th, HamCon, Colorado, October 23rd and 26th out in Grand Junction. So we'll hopefully have our Hamfest listed on there. It does take a lot of work, and it's we really do need a lot more support than what we've had in the past. But with that, comments, questions, check-ins, anything else, please call now. Let's see, April Fool's Day. came and went. If you attended our last meeting a couple of weeks ago on the 19th, we had a great presentation by John Portune, W6NBC, a ham construction project. So he gave a pretty good summary of all the different types of plastics used for antennas and what to use, what not to use, things like that. So earlier before that, we had our Elmers session, just a general Q&A, just similar to this. And he pointed out a couple of joke April Fool's articles in the April 2025 ARL QST magazine. So one of them was turn your vertical antenna into a rotatable beam, and it's just a carbon fiber tube he put on his roof. So if you weren't in the know, you may not realize that that's not that's a joke. But let's see. Let me see if I can bring up that. And then there was one more later on in the edition of. Let me see. An advertisement for a snappy key, a CW key, a joke product, obviously. CW Corporation of America announces its latest CW training key. The key automatically monitors the user's sending technique. When the key senses a mistake, it automatically snaps. And it's just because it's a photo, it's a Morse code looking key, but it's a mousetrap. It automatically snaps into action, reminding them to sender to improve their keying skills. So pretty funny looking product there. But again, joke product. So anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins on that or anything else? Please call now.
Alpha Bravo, does that snap your fingers if you do something wrong?
Yes, if it were a real product, but this is just an April Fool's kind of advertisement. So I bet you could make something like that, though. I don't see why not, but not a real product just yet. So, but it'd be interesting to see if someone did eventually make that.
Okay, I was just wondering because I'd be going ouch a lot anyway. This is Kilo Echoes Alpha Bravo back to net.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. We did also discuss, not often discussed, a thing called wolf hung. Again, in the nature of kind of April Fools, but this is kind of something that happens around Halloween time. Again, none of this is real. It's basically a fake monster used to keep bad operators in line. A tongue-in-cheek warning to the amateur radio community of importance of always using best practices when on the air. So it's just this really weird-looking thing. WOUFF-HONG. Check it out for yourself. So, anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins? Please call now. Okay, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else? We have another 20 or so minutes. Please call now.
This is Alpha Bravo.
Yeah, Alpha Bravo. No, that is yours.
Does anyone run crossband between two simplex frequencies on, let's say, one on 2 meters and one on 440? Does anyone use any type of crossband to communicate just between two guys, just out of curiosity? Does anybody have any good frequencies for that? If there's anybody out there that does that?
Great question. A example I've heard in the past, previous club member, or still club member, K0LAI, he's since moved out of state. He mentioned he would use a mobile transceiver in his vehicle. Basically, when hiking his vehicle, it would crossband repeat, and then he would have an HT that he would use while hiking. So he would be able to use interoperability between his mobile radio in his vehicle and an HT. I think that was a crossband, an example there. But anyone else on that? Yeah, why would you do that? What, why, and when? And if anybody has examples or anything else on that, go right ahead.
The hike is being run from, and over here we have a checkpoint, and we need to get communication between the two. Now what we
all right, just watching a very quick video there. Jonathan M0JSX is kind of giving a little bit of an explanation there of a checkpoint, net control, a separate net control, and having a VHF and UHF frequency pair for crossband repeating between those two. So may check that out. But anyone else? Basically, you can use one radio to receive on one frequency and transmit on another. Very similar, exactly like our repeaters, essentially. They transmit and receive on both VHF and UHF pair. But it would be a smaller operation. Anyone else? Crossband repeating, please call now.
0TX repeater.
Another popular example of why you would need a crossband radio is for satellite operations, because the transmit and receive pairs are not the same on there.
For radios
so that is another reason that I've heard people using crossband radios. Anyone else, though, while we're on that, please call now.
This is Alpha Bravo. We're just uplink, downlink is all it would be. So, okay, thanks, Daron. This is Kilo Echo Zero Alpha Bravo, back to net.
Hi, I'm Jonathan M0J. Probably a feature on your radio called crossband repeat. And today we're going to have a quick look at what is it essentially. So if we imagine we've got.
All right, I may play this video after the net here by Jonathan M0JSX. Should be pretty good. Just a few minutes, 5 minutes of that probably after the net. So check it out on our youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. Anyone else? I can certainly bring up a few things. We have 15 or so minutes. But anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins? Please call now. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else at the moment? Otherwise, I can certainly read off an article or two, but anyone else? Please call now. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Quick article here on radio astronomy. Dutch radio amateurs bounce 1299 megahertz microwave signals off the planet Venus. Distance of 42 million kilometers. On the 22nd of March, 2025, a group of Dutch radio amateurs managed to successfully bounce a 23 centimeters microwave signal off the planet Venus using the 25-meter Dwinjaloo telescope, and that is in, I think, Australia, I believe. Or, no, northeastern Netherlands would make more sense. At the time, Venus was at its closest point to Earth with a distance of 42 million kilometers. This happens approximately every 580 days, which is about a year and 7 months. For the test, they used a 278-second long tone at frequency 1229.5 megahertz. The return path from Earth to Venus and back was about 280 seconds, which is 4 minutes 40 seconds. They repeated the cycle 4 times, and a sample of the returned signal is shown below. Test transmissions were also heard by another group using the 25-meter Stockert radio telescope in Germany. They hope to resume their Earth at the next closest approach in October 2026. This was over on blog ei7gl.blogspot.com, and original source is Camras, camras.nl. Much more info on that camras.nl site. I believe it is their ham radio club here. Let me see. Yes. They, in preparation for the experiment, they collaborated with the Deep Space Exploration Society, based here in Colorado. So we have talked about them in the past and how they have helped out a lot within the amateur radio astronomy portions of our hobby. Anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else so far? Please call now. All right. Again, 15 or so minutes. Any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else? I can certainly bring up another story or two, but anyone else, please call now. Let's see, looking at reddit.com/r/amateur radio, someone is showing off their ZBitX radio transceiver, 5 watts, all bands, all mode SDR for $169. Path breaking 5 watts, 64-bit integrated SDR, covers 80 meter to 10 meter on CW, single sideband, AM, FreeDV, FT8, SSTV, touchscreen, measures 6.5 by 3 inch by 1.5 inches, can run off of 2 LiPo batteries. Let's see, take it everywhere. Measures, again, the measurements there. It's so small you can slip it into your pocket. Capable of 10 watts from 2 standard 18650 batteries. Touchscreen provides with on-screen keyboard for logging and CW operations, even if you don't have a CW paddle. Built-in mic for SSB operations. Work the world on FT8 without a computer from your windowsill with your ZBitX and a length of wire. So pretty interesting looking. I wouldn't say product of the week, but it seems like there's always a new product coming out. So check that out at hfsignals.com. All right, yeah, pretty neat. Integrated FT8, complete FT8 station. Just switch it on and start working. Forget about the mess of wires, audio level settings, and confusing settings. Just tune to the FT8 frequencies and tap on the call sign to complete a QSO. So pretty neat, slick-looking operations here. Anyone else? 10 or so minutes. Please call now. Let's see, I'll read this user's review. You got it a couple of days ago. Hadn't seen one posted yet. 5 watts, Raspberry Pi 202 wireless. Runs the radio. Raspberry Pi Pico to run the screen. FT8 directly from the unit. Fits in his hands, pocket. Runs off of 2 batteries, as mentioned. they got COVID, so they're not out hiking this weekend, but this is a cool little machine. Can automatically log contacts and export them. Screen is small, but surprisingly easy to use with a stylus. There it has a website essentially via the IP address and use your phone or tablet to run it, which is pretty awesome. There's some software you can use, SBitX software. Not everything's perfect. It's not an appliance. The power connection is a bit janky. Software, while open sourced, is a bit raw and crowdsourced. FT8 has been acting weird, so likely needs a bug fix or two. So still in the works, but pretty neat looking machine he sends for $179. Anyone else or anything else? Please call now. All right, another pretty cool post here over on Reddit, looking at a QSL card from WWV in our backyard, Fort Collins. I have not seen what that had looked like before, so pretty neat looking. Looks like two photos, one of kind of the main operations building, and then another photo of the antenna array, and then in the middle is confirmation of reception on the frequency. They made it on 10 megahertz. Station manager Matthew Dutch confirmed it on March 26th. So pretty neat looking card here. Let's see if anybody has anything to say on that. Anybody work WWV or WWVH or any of the time signal stations and got any QSL cards or anything else like that? Go right ahead. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I'd like to welcome check-in here online. Paul Edwards, N4DME. Really appreciate you checking in here. Coming in from Toccoa, something like that. So yeah, appreciate you checking in here. Again, we have another 10 or so minutes. Anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins? Please call now. Nothing heard at the moment. Again, 9 or so minutes. Comments, questions, check-ins. Anything else for this evening's Learning Net so far? Please call now. All right. This is K1 DBC Net Control, again for the Denver Radio Club W0TX, Ham Learning Net. Anybody else? Comments, questions, check-ins? We have another 10 or so minutes. Otherwise, I can maybe read off another article and wrap things up. But anyone else? Please call now. Excellent. Good to hear. All right. Nothing heard. Let's see quickly to recap so far. Pretty neat video I was showing before the net. I do suggest checking that out over on the ARL.org, ARL.HQ YouTube channel. Ham radio students, scientists at Ham Sci Workshop. So kind of highlights 6 or so people and kind of the projects that they're working on. So I'd really I'd suggest checking that out because there are some really heady topics here. And again, check out the IP400 networking project. It looks like it's a really amazing project. A lot of basically using internet for or just Ethernet and networking to help route some of the older protocols. So check that out. Let's see. We also talked about, let's see, where did that go here? What else? CCARC, the Colorado Council of Amateur Radio Clubs, again, a coordination of frequencies and pairs and things like that. And you can go ahead and find More information on their website, ccarc.net. Really great group, and just makes usage a lot easier for everyone. Lark Fest coming up if you're in the Boulder area this Saturday. More information on the club's website, Boulder NA something or other. Let me bring that back up. That's not it. While I'm bringing that up, again, Lark Fest Saturday, this Saturday. Why can't I find that again here now? w0eno.org/2025 Lark Fest for more information on them. Saturday, April the 5th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. At the Boulder County Fairgrounds. Some other questions did come up. Crossband repeating, and then I kind of just read out a couple of articles there. 5 or so more minutes. Let us know if you have any comments or questions. Let us know. Oh, wow. We got a comment in the chat here, Paul. And for DME, again from, I think, Andrews, South Carolina is what it says on his QSL page here. He mentioned that he is watching storm chasers with 25 to 15 tornadoes running wild. So pretty crazy stuff out there. Hopefully you're staying safe, and life, limb, and property we've always talked about, and hopefully things are okay for y'all out there. But yeah, lots of high winds and lots of issues. But anyone else on that or anything else, please call now. All right. Nothing heard. Amateur radio operators during times of storms like this, it's definitely good to be listening to all bands, scanners, CB, whatever it may be, and operate with areas groups and whatnot, and we can always help out the community and things like that. So, thanks for bringing that up there. Anyone else? 4 or so minutes. Let us know your comments or questions. Please call now. Let's see if I have any last minute things here. With that, not heard anything just at the moment, but anyone else? A few more minutes here. Let us know if you have any comments or questions or last minute check-ins. Please call now. This is K1 at DBC Net Control. Let me see if I have any last minute things here. Otherwise, we might start to wrap things up. Anyone else have anything? Otherwise, we might start to wrap the net up. Please call now. Okay, nothing heard. Again, I'll play about a 5 or so minute video about crossband repeating, and pretty good explanation by Jonathan M0JSX. So if you want to watch that, you can head over to his YouTube channel or on our Denver Radio Club YouTube channel. We'll be live streaming for a few minutes after the net. Last minute, any last minute check-ins to the net? Please call now. All right, as always, w0tx.org for more information on our club. Roundtable is out. It will be emailed. Gets emailed every 5th of the month around 12 p.m. Mountain Time. But for a sneak peek, it is on our website now. So again, we thank Brennan Pate and all the contributors to that for helping to put that out continuously. So we do appreciate that. So upcoming meeting. It has been announced that it's Karen Thompson, KD4DXX. She's with RT Systems. As you may know, they develop programming software for just about any and all UHF type radios. So join us on the virtual meeting on the 16th of this month for that. More information will be on our website, w0tx.org. We also have an opening for a DRC board member, Club Treasure. I think we've had maybe one or two people mentioning that they have some interest. But if you do have any interest, a background in that, please don't hesitate to get a hold of any one of us over on our webpage, again, w0tx.org /office. There's plenty of phone numbers and email addresses. With that, let me go back to the script and we'll wrap things up here. All right, thanks again to everyone who checked in here. We had a total of 10 check-ins, I believe. We thank and appreciate the club for allowing us to use their repeaters. Again, join us on the third Wednesday of the month. That will be the 19th this month, 6 p.m. for an Elmers session prior to the regularly scheduled Denver Radio Club meeting at 7 p.m. With that, please join us next week, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time for the next Learning Net. 7-3, and I will be clear. Everyone have a good evening.
Hi, I'm Jonathan M0JSX. If you've bought a mobile radio, mobile VHF, UHF radio in the last 15, 20 years, or maybe even longer than that, then there's probably a feature on your radio called crossband repeat. And today we're going to have a quick look at what is it and why you might use it. So let's just take a step back and just briefly talk about what a repeater is, which I'm sure we all know, but just in case. A repeater, it repeats essentially. So if we imagine we've got a mountain and we put a repeater at the top of it, and we have one guy down here and another guy down here who can't communicate using their little handheld radios. That's obviously a very accurate drawing of a handheld radio. They can't communicate to each other because of the mountain in the way. We have this repeater up here. They're usually in band. Let's just say this repeater has an output frequency, so it transmits on 145/600, and it receives on 145 dead. That's megahertz, obviously. So each person down here, if they transmit on 145 megahertz dead and listen on 145.6, they're able to communicate with each other via this repeater up here. We have repeaters for the 2 meter band, we have repeaters for the 70 centimeter band, and here in the UK at least, we also have some repeaters on 6 meters and a couple on 10 meters as well. And they provide a larger coverage than just you might be able to do with either your handheld or maybe even your home station if you're not particularly well sighted. I'm not particularly well sighted here. So that's what a traditional repeater is. The problem with this though is because here we're only looking at 600 kilohertz of separation, we need to use something called a cavity filter in order to make sure that our transmitter doesn't interfere with our receiver. Now a cavity filter is expensive, quite big, and also quite delicate in the fact that you have to tune the filter in situ, because moving it can affect its tuning. So you have to take it to site, tune it in situ, and then leave it. And if you move it, you will then have to check it and make sure it's still okay, which is a bit of a faff. So what is a crossband repeater? Well, let's pull up a new sheet. So a crossband repeater in my head, I always think as being something a bit more temporary than a full-blown repeater system, but is no less useful. So let's draw again our mountain and let's draw our repeater at the top. So in this situation, rather than it being a permanent installation, we've done something temporary. We've put up a temporary mast with a dual band collinear at the top of it, and we've plugged in at the bottom our, let's just say, FT8900, which is a radio that I have and that I've used the crossband repeater in. But instead of being in-band, we're going to cross-band. But unlike with a traditional repeater where you have a set input frequency and a set output frequency, a crossband repeater is two-directional. So we could have one side of our repeater on, let's just say, 145.250 megahertz. And we could have the other side of our crossband repeater at 433.750 megahertz. I've often used these when doing things like community events and hikes and things like that, where we need to get communication between a couple of sites, but there's an obstruction in the way. So let's just say that down here we have our net control station, who is based at wherever the hike is being run from. And over here we have a checkpoint, and we need to get communication between the two. Now what we could do is say that between the crossband repeater and the net control station, we're going to put this particular link on the 70 centimeter band, and on this we are going to put this on the 2 meter band. And the crucial thing is that at each end, these stations operating their radios on a simplex mode. They're not having to worry about having to do any shifts or anything like that, because it's not needed. Another use for a crossband repeater might be that maybe you're, let's say, a checkpoint down here and you're trying to talk to a net control station. You can't have communications from your handheld, but your mobile antenna on your car is doing a pretty reasonable job. So instead of tying yourself to the car and the radio in the car, you could put that radio into crossband repeat mode and then wander around the checkpoint and chat to all of the people coming to the checkpoint as well, by just carrying your handheld around and using 70 sems between your handheld and your car, and then 2 meters from your car back to whoever you're communicating with. Another classic example of where a crossband repeater is really useful. And now for a bit of a story. There was an occasion where we were assisting in a hike around the Reading area, and the hike's next control station was one end of the course, and the rest of the course was very up and down. There was lots of hills in the way between lots of different checkpoints. So we ended up putting in 3 crossband repeaters in order to get reliable communications across the entire course, which meant we had one frequency. It was actually on the 4 meter band that we used, one frequency on the 4 meter band and 3 frequencies on the 2 meter band, in order so that when an operator got to a checkpoint, they could put up a 2 meter antenna with a 2 meter radio and try and call the net control station on one of 3 frequencies, and they would just use whichever was the strongest. Because the 3 repeater stations could hear each other, and they all shared a common 4 meter frequency, and then the 2 meter side was all different. So another interesting, if quite niche, example of where a crossband repeater can come in really useful. I'd like to know from you down below, where have you used a crossband repeater? Did you even know that your radio had it in? I say most radios made in the last 20 years either have it as standard, or you might need to do a small modification to your radio in order to enable it. But it's a really useful feature that I've used on many occasions, so really interesting to know, when have you found a use for a crossband repeater? Thanks very much for watching. If you've liked this video, there's a button specifically for that. If you haven't, there's another button that seems to work just fine too.
All right, thanks again for watching. Y'all have a good evening.